Aloha, my friends, and happy Sunday. Today's Sunday, of course, is associated with the planet, the sun, day of the soul, day of connecting to the greatest light. And so amazing that today, of course, is also Father's Day because the father in astrology is often associated with the sun. It's also connected to God, source, spirit, connecting to the divine father energy. So it's a powerful day to tune into the energetics of the sun, to tune into the energetics of our higher oversoul. And it's a beautiful day for celebrating our fathers and the father energy, which in yoga would be the Shiva energy, the energy that holds space. Shiva being the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and Shakti being the divine feminine. And so most of us are working to create balance, and today is a great day to recognize the divine masculine force that holds space for all of creation to exist within it. And so big ups to that energy and to all fathers out there, and for the energetic of love, support, integrity, strength, and power that the father energy in its highest form represents. And so today we're going to dive into what is happening in the stars, especially with the sun, and some really powerful aspects with some fixed stars, such as the North Star, which is our compass, our guidepost, as well as the Galactic Center, which is the deepest yin. And so, on some levels, we have this amazing polarity as we approach the solstice on June 20th, which is the greatest peak of solar light. And so, there's so much energy right now available for us to tap into that higher soul self. Are you taking advantage of the uploads, downloads, the communication channel that is opening to its highest peak come Wednesday, June 20th? Because there is so many light codes and vibrational upgrades and frequencies coming through. We've also had a planet change signs. Venus, the goddess of love, which I've been talking to you about for months, in Taurus has now shifted, and she's shifting into Gemini, into air. And so the divine feminine energy, which has been slow and steady and earthy, has now shifted into the more cerebral, intellectual, communicative, expressive sign of Gemini. While Mars, the masculine planet, the divine masculine energy of action and assertion, has gone into Aries, which is leadership, it is power, it is fire, it is force, it is taking action. So we're going to look at all of these combinations, look at the chart, and see what amazing synchronicities we can unearth for you today. I'm very excited. The energies are full on. I'm going to share screen with you. And I created this chart to really express one of the most incredible dynamics I see happening right now, which is this activation up top between Mercury, the planet of communication and thought, to the soul star, the North Star, Polaris. And so they are exactly conjunct right now. And so what are they? Well, here I included a picture of the North Star. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? Polaris. It is located directly above the North Pole. And so I compared it to the energy of Santa Claus and the ability to ask for what we wish and to receive it. A little bit like when you write a letter to Santa Claus and you ask for what you want, you can use the energy of Polaris to ask for what you want, to write your letter or your request to the universe. And so having the pole star directly conjunct Mercury, the planet of communication, gives us incredible opportunity to ask for what we want. And another thing that the pole star does is it assists us to tune into our higher self and to get clarity, to ask questions, to receive guidance, to receive direction. Because for thousands of years, the pole star has been the compass rose, the true north for which our ancestors have followed. It has been the guidepost. And so I actually did a meditation last night to tune into the power of the North Star, because we have not only Mercury very close to the pole star. We have Venus, the goddess of love, was just on top of it. We have the sun approaching the pole star. And so there's all these powerful planets. The sun, of course, representing our soul essence, our higher self, Mercury, how we communicate, and Venus, what we love, all so close to this incredible beacon of guidance, of helping us to have clarity, to ask for our direction. And so it's an incredibly powerful time to meditate. And specifically, I would recommend facing or sitting in the north and actually grounding yourself and then reaching up and tuning into the North Star frequency, which is a slate blue or bright blue frequency, and actually asking the North Star, and I did this last night, for guidance, for clarity, to know more about where you're headed and where you're going and what's right for you, and to really listen, because the North Star has this incredibly purifying, clarifying frequency that can really assist you to hear the message, to clear the message, to get very amplified and directed and what it is that you are asking. So, North Star Polaris is incredibly powerful for clarity and direction. So, if you're having any issues around knowing your path, your direction, or having clarity on your path or direction, this is a really important thing to tune into right now and ask for that assistance. And ask, just as you would write to Santa Claus, you can also write to the North Star and ask for guidance and support on what it is you want to create. With Mercury, this is even more amplified. So your mind is going to have incredible clarity right now. You're going to have more focus coming in. And if you don't, go and meditate and tune into this frequency and ask for support. You can even get the picture of the North Star, put it on your desktop or your laptop, and allow its radiance and its light to assist you. Connect it into the pineal and the pituitary gland and ask for that light to purify, to clear, and to open the way for you to go forwards, to follow your path towards what it is you wish to create. Okay. And it's really kind of magical because Venus, the goddess of love, the billionaire planet, is conjunct Mercury right now, which is communication. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities to connect our hearts with our minds, to connect our feelings with our thoughts, to put our thoughts into words, to put our feelings into words. And so Venus in Gemini now, and I wanted to show you, I have this amazing new software, this Stellarium software, and I'd like to show you where Venus is at right now. So you can see it in the sky if you're, someone who follows tropical or Western astrology and you're saying Venus is in Gemini, what? I wanted to show you so that we can see it together. Okay. And so this is the True to the Stars map. I follow the True to the Stars astrology, which is based on the actual stars. Tropical astrology actually follows where the stars were 2,000 years ago and is no longer even accurate to the actual sky. So if you want to follow the actual stars, where they are located, stick with me or find another True the Stars constellational astrologer to get that information. So here we go. Here is the current astrology location of the planet. So the sun is in the very tail end of Taurus, and the sun will be moving into Gemini this week, probably around the 20th, right around the solstice. And so sun has been in Taurus, which is an earth sign. It's all about getting very grounded, very solid, very stabilized, feeling your roots, getting deep to Terra Gaia, creating, manifesting, building security, building a foundation, building a framework. And so that's where we've been over the last month. But now the sun is about to jump ship and she's going to be traveling into Gemini. She's not there yet. And Gemini is an air sign. Gemini is all about information and communication. It's all about speaking, writing, connecting, sharing. Think information sharing. That is Gemini's niche. Okay, it's the social networker, marketing guru. It's the person who teaches and speaks. Gemini is constantly in motion as an air sign. So expect things to get much more activated, much more movement forwards in whatever it is that you're looking to do. And that probably has kind of already started because I went ahead and looked up this other star constellation that isn't talked about very much, but it's part of one of the recognized star constellations that Ptolemy categorized back many 2,000 years ago. And so we have this star constellation called Auriga. And Auriga is known as the charioteer. And Auriga was a king in ancient Greek mythology who actually invented the four-horse chariot. And so this is very interesting because Aries, where the planet Mars is currently hanging out, and we can take a look at that. So here is Mars, and Mars is right here, right around the ear of Cetus, which is the sea monster. So, and it's the ear. So there might be a lot of things around listening coming up before we take action because Mars is the planet of action. It's also the masculine planet. So today being Father's Day, Mars is going to be very deeply emphasized. Mars and Aries, you might notice it by people revving their engines or driving fast. Okay. And it's in Aries, which is a fire sign, which is action-oriented, energetic. It's all about courage. It's all about leadership. It's all about taking action. And so we've had Mars and Aries for about a week now. And so the energy's been picking up. The desire to act has been picking up. The desire to do more is really activated. So at the moment, Mars has been dealing with a sun in Taurus. And so a sun in Taurus is very, very earthy. So we're been dealing with fire, body, action, fire, and with Taurus, which is earth. And so fire and earth, it's hard to move forward. It's been a bit like revving the engine and the gas at the same time. But as Sun, Venus, and Mercury all approach Gemini, which is air, which is thought, which is movement. And if you think about fire and air, well, they naturally encourage each other, don't they? And so as the sun lines up with Gemini and is already lined up with Auriga, the charioteer, which also matches the frequency of Mars in Aries, because Aries is also associated with the chariot card and with driving forwards and taking action and movement, the energy is about to pick up. So if you've been like sort of slow and steady and stable and going it, step by step, I just have to let you know that the energy is about to pick up. It's about to pick up on a big level. You might find yourself traveling, taking a short trip or a short journey. You might find yourself going to an event. You might find yourself doing a lot more marketing and networking and communicating with lots of different people. That is because Gemini, right here, the twins, is all about communication. There's two of them, right? And so if you're with another person, chances are you're going to be talking, you're going to be communicating, you're going to be expressing yourself. And so Venus has already landed there, and Venus is the goddess of love. Venus is the billionaire planet. And so having Venus in Gemini today means that where will really good money opportunities be coming from? And this is going to be different for each person. So knowing your own individual chart is really powerful and really helpful. And I do one-on-one readings if you would like to know where Venus, the billionaire planet, is, where the sun is in your chart. And so what happens in the chart is that the chart is divided into 12 houses, and each house represents an arena of your life, from work to career to money to love, relationship, marriage to communication. And so what sign Venus is in Gemini, wherever you have Gemini in your chart, and every single person is different and unique in this, that will mean that this planet Venus, the goddess of love, the billionaire planet, is affecting you personally. And so that's why I love doing individual readings, so that I can tune in with you and get really clear on how this stuff is affecting you, what it's bringing up for you, etc. So that said, how is everyone doing out there? Have you been noticing more communication? Have you been noticing talking to more people? Because we're in this hotbed of a transition from so many planets in Taurus, which is earth, to now Venus has just leapt into Gemini, which is air. Mercury is right on the cusp. Mercury is the planetary ruler of Gemini, and she's about to jump into Gemini as well. And the sun won't be long behind. And so we're about to have 3 major planets jump into Gemini. And Gemini is the master communicator that knows everyone, talks to everyone, shares information with everyone. So if you're a speaker, if you're a writer, if you're a communicator of any kind, and you have a message or you want to share other people's messages, this is the quintessential PowerPoint time, just as we launch into the solstice, where the energy for communication and expression is going to be the highest. And especially having Venus, the billionaire planet, lined up with all these other planets means that the opportunities for making money are really going to come through communication, expression, sharing of information, marketing. Oh, there's a squirrel back behind me. So, what is it that you can do when it comes to communication that may increase the likelihood of money, abundance, wealth to flow into your space? That's something to consider. Oh, there he goes. So, I'm going to bring up the chart again just to show you this kind of amazing progression that we're in. So we've had all these planets deep, 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 deep in Taurus. Taurus being the goddess. It's very grounded, very steady, right? Oh, all these energies moving into Gemini, which is just so much more about expression, so much more about communication, so much more about many, many things coming together. So I like this image of the North Star as the center with all these other stars moving around it. And that to me feels like Gemini. Gemini is the star that touches many other stars. And you can think about the match, that one single match has the power to light the entire world. Okay. And so Gemini air has that power to light many matches. So if you have a message, if you have information within you, if you have a story, Gemini is the quintessential storyteller. Gemini is the way in which we use our voice, our vocal cords, our hands, or typing or writing to take an inspiration and then express it, either through speaking, through writing, through any type of communication where we share a message, story within us, and we bring it out into the world. And so with the sun, Venus, and Mercury all lining up with Gemini on June 20th, the solstice, which is the highest, brightest shining time of the year, when the sun in the northern hemisphere, it's peak sunlight, and in the southern hemisphere, it's peak winter, right? So we have this great polarity approaching with the solstice. And at the same time that we have this greatest light, and I'm often talking about how astrology loves to play with polarity, the same time that we have all these planets being illuminated, going into Gemini, communication. We also have this really intense polarity between all these planets that were in Taurus now hedging into Gemini with Ophiuchus. And what is Ophiuchus? Ophiuchus is the home or the entrance point to the Galactic Center. And so here we go, in this chart here, where'd it go? That's so strange. This is the Galactic Center. Okay, and so at the same time that here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are approaching greatest light, we are also, the sun is also in polarity to, there it is. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so sun, Venus, Mercury above, right? Aligned with the North Star. while below we have the galactic center. And this, my friends, is a picture of the galactic center right here. And it's so beautiful, isn't it? It's just, some people call it the womb of creation because it is home to four supermassive black holes. And as the sun goes into its greatest alignment, its greatest light at the solstice here in the northern hemisphere, it goes into polarity to this galactic center, which is the four supermassive black hole, the home to four supermassive black holes. And so what this alignment is, and this alignment happens at the winter solstice and it happens at the summer solstice every year, is that we have sun, greatest maximus, and then it's in polarity to our greatest activation of the greatest darkness. And so it becomes the greatest yin, the galactic center, to the greatest yang. It becomes the balance point between the fullest expression of the divine masculine and the fullest expression of the divine feminine. And so if you study yoga, yoga means union in Sanskrit. And so in yoga, there's the great dance between Shiva and Shakti, Shiva being the divine masculine, Shakti being the divine feminine. And so as we approach the solstice and all these planets go into Gemini, which is communication, this becomes an incredibly powerful time for balancing the two polarities of our divine masculine energy and our divine feminine energy. And you might find at this time that there could be more polarity than normal because with the greatest light brings the greatest shadow. So even as we expand into our greatest soul expression here at the solstice here in the northern hemisphere, the same time, the balance of the shadow is the strongest as well. And so it becomes a really powerful time for illuminating things that have been hidden or buried or stuffed down. It becomes a really powerful time to step into consciousness, to do meditation, to do mantra, to do prayer, to do alignment to your soul essence in whatever capacity or framework or way that is of the greatest value to you, that you resonate with the most deeply. But I see this window as the solstice as being one of the most powerful times on the planet for us to tap into the frequency of manifestation, to tap into the frequency of what we want to create. Because if you think about creation, or if you think about when a man and woman come together, what do they create? They can create a new life. And so each of us carries within us both the divine feminine and the divine masculine essence, greatest yin, greatest yang. And to the degree to which we're balanced and in union with these forces, we have the ability to create and intend and to set seeds for what it is we wish to create on this earth, on this planet, and in our lives. And so I really want to encourage you all to focus in on what you want to create as we approach the solstice. And I work as a being who reads astrological charts, is to guide people back into unity consciousness with your soul. And so I am a soul coach, I'm a soul midwife here to assist you with coming into alignment with your soul essence. And the energies for this are incredibly powerful. To go and tune into the energetics of the sun and start clearing energy and opening the way for all of us aligning more deeply and more fully with our soul essence, our soul presence, to activate and create what it is that we are here on this earth to create. So get outside, go meditate, listen to the sound current. The energies right now are profound, absolutely profound. So sending you so much love, so much light. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 11 a.m. to keep going, bringing in the energetics of the soul to consciousness to align to our greatest being and our greatest expression. Biggest love. Aloha.